So this morning I was out in the yard with the dog and I noticed something I had never really paid attention to before, and that was spider webs. Everywhere. They were on the grass. There was one hanging from the laundry line. It was like my yard had been taken over overnight. And it made me think about how in this season, autumn, it seems to belong to spiders. They're a big part of Halloween imagery right alongside bats and owls. And as it turns out, people in Tudor England were just as fascinated and sometimes frightened by spiders as we are today. So let's talk for a little bit about spiders in Tudor England. Now, first off, a little biology lesson. Why do we see so many spider webs in September and October? I had to look this up because I was really curious. It isn't that there are suddenly more spiders. The truth is they've been here all along. But by late summer, most of them are fully grown, which means their webs are bigger, easier to spot, and way more dramatic. The orb weavers, those are the ones making those giant wheel-shaped webs. Well, they're at their peak. And we also find ground-dwelling funnel spiders weaving sheet-like webs in the grass. So the Tudors noticed these same seasonal patterns, and just like us, they connected spiders with autumn. So it's no wonder that they became a symbol of mystery and superstition. So for the Tudors, a spider wasn't just a bug to squash or take outside or scream about or anything like that. It could be a message. One common belief was that if a spider dropped down in front of you, it was good luck. You were meant to take that as a positive sign. But if you killed that spider, your good fortune could actually flip into really bad luck. Others saw the spiders as omens of death if they appeared at the wrong time or place. Remember, this was an age when people looked for signs and meanings in everything, from the way bread rose in the oven to the sudden fall of a star, and spiders were no exception. Spiders also had a place in Tudor medicine, and this is where it gets interesting. One remedy for fevers was to swallow a live spider rolled in butter or bread. Yeah, you heard that right. Imagine that you're sick and your cure is to gulp down a spider sandwich. People would also take a spider web, like eat a spider web every day, the way we take vitamins as a way to stay healthy. But it wasn't all superstitions. Like so much in Tudor medicine, there's actually some truth to it, right? So spider silk itself had some genuine medical uses. People would put spider webs into cuts to help stop bleeding. And modern science has actually shown that the silk does have clotting properties. So while some Tudor remedies sound horrifying, others were surprisingly practical. We've talked about this plenty of times when we talk about medicine and the way the Tudors practiced medicine. Like some of the stuff we look at, we're just horrified, like bloodletting and leeches and all of that other stuff. But then some stuff, like the herbs that they used, actually we would still use today. Of course, spiders also crept into the world of witchcraft. Their sudden webs spun overnight in dark corners make them perfect companions for witches in the popular imagination. Just like cats, owls, toads, or bats, spiders were said to be familiars, animal helpers for witches. If a cottage was swarming with them, neighbors might whisper about dark practices inside. In a world that was already quick to suspect witchcraft, the humble spider could be enough to tip the scales of rumor. But here's the twist. Spiders could also be seen as protectors in a period when fleas and flies spread plague and disease. Spiders, of course, were natural allies in the fight against the worst pests. Some households even welcomed them, believing that a spider in the corner was guarding the family. It's that double-edged symbolism that makes them so interesting. At the same time, they were sinister and helpful, frightening and lucky. So the next time you go out in the morning to your yard in the autumn and you find a web sparkling with dew, you are seeing the same seasonal spider boom that the Tudors noticed centuries ago. And just like them, we still connect these creatures with mystery and magic and maybe a little bit of fear. At Halloween, we drape fake webs across our doors, but for our Tudor friends, spiders were very, very real, woven into their medicine, their folklore, and even their ideas about witches. So if a spider drops down in front of you this season, maybe take a cue from Tudor superstition and let it live. You never know, it might be bringing you some good luck. I even found a Shakespeare quote from Henry VI, Part 2. Shakespeare has several spider mentions, but my favorite one is, "My brain, more busy than the laboring spider, weaves tedious snares to trap mine enemies." So there you have it, a little peek at how the Tudors thought about spiders as we start this spooky season. If you got to the end of this and enjoyed it, I sure would appreciate a press of that like button. It helps to feed that algorithm and get our content to more people. And I hope I earned your subscription to my channel where I put out videos like this on the regular. And tell me in the comments, would you have swallowed a spider wrapped in butter if the doctor told you that it would cure your fever? I'm pretty sure I know my answer, but I'd like to know yours. All right, my friend, thank you for watching. Remember, you are deeply loved. I'm so glad I shared the planet with you. You make the planet a better place. And I'm glad that we got to spend this time talking about spiders and how the Tudors saw them together. I'll be back very soon. Have an amazing day.